Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Do the Nishmat, see me, Mirosirus, plus Mordechai. Mamash Siyada the Shmaya, kiss from Hashem. I received this email yesterday, and I thought it was very interesting because in the middle of Shir, you're going to see something that's very tied into this email. Thank you for the Shir every day, says Benzin Leibowitz. I really appreciate it. I started Sanhedrin, Baruch Hashem, going strong. I'm a dispatcher for the Muncie Fire Communication. We had last night a structure fire in Muncie, and as you know, we have 19 firefighters learning every day with MDY. Here's an attached video of one of the firefighters with the MDY sticker on his fire hat. He identifies as an MDY member. Thanks again. Here we go. 1 and 19, and we're going to get back to them. It wasn't, I didn't chap. They came in after we did something very interesting. Spotted last night, Simon Shisha of MDY Gibraltar. Love Gibraltar.
How many firefighters total in Muncie?
19.
Oh, I have no idea.
19 firefighters.
19 are doing it. You mean?
Like total, like 19 out of
19.
There's no more than 600 firefighters in that fire station. I don't know. It's a good Chaya. It's probably a little bit more than 19, but not too much more than 30. I don't know, 40. How many could it be already?
correct.
But I just want to remind the Olam about Shnai Mikra Vechatargum. And a few people wrote in, so I'll repeat again why it's very, very easy and it goes very well with the daf. The way I do it, you can do it many different ways. I did the entire parasha from beginning to end in one sitting. And then every day takes about 6 to 8 minutes to do one aliyah. You do just one time the chumash and one time targum. You do the whole chumash in one shot. That's how I do it. You do it any way you want, but basically it's about 8 minutes a day. It's not that big of an investment. Depends how long does it take you, Donnie? You're looking at me like I'm crazy. How long does it take you? A day? How long does it take you a day?
As long as your emails.
As long as the emails. So about 15 minutes. 15 minutes a day. Givaldi. It's also a good idea. If you don't want to hear the emails, you could, but you know what? Even if you don't listen to the emails and you do Shnai Mikra, the emails penetrate the Neshama anyways. The Neshama hears them. So it's also good. Daila Chakima Beremiza. What else do we have here?
As long as you don't do the email, Shnai Mikra Vechatargum.
To the Steam Rebelli from Yankov Hendelman, I wanted to share something special of notice about myself. Thanks to listening to your share, I realized that when I learned Gemara with my chavrusa, I try to emulate your enthusiasm and the way you approach learning to make it engaging, clear, and enjoyable experience, sometimes even incorporating stories. I don't think I'll ever reach the level of Geshmak, but I do my best to imitate it. Beyond my daily chavrusa, I also learn once a week with someone who's not religious, but getting stronger in his Yiddishkeit. Even with him, I've noticed that thanks to your shir, I put an extra effort to explain the Gemara in a way that makes it an experience. Because of you, I've learned that even something as challenging as Gemara can be an exciting, enjoyable experience, no less than that. When it comes to you, we could sing. Od yeter gishmak, od yeter gishmak, od yeter gishmak, od yeter gishmak, la 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 la. I was into it, Givaldi. Yankov Hendelman, that's his song, not mine. ועליך אפשר לשיר ועוד יותר גשמק, ועוד יותר גשמק, ועוד יותר גשמק. איך זה הולך? ועוד יותר גשמק, ועוד יותר גשמק, ועוד יותר... What does it say? There's 60 firefighters and about 20 of them do the daf. So third, that's very, very nice. And all of them are religious? All of them are from guys? They should have like at least one gesunte, old-fashioned firefighter to teach them how to do it, no? Okay. Real quickly, you know what? I'm going to skip this. I'm going to skip the emails because you guys love the email so much.
No.
The Masechta, no. It's your. The Masechta sponsor for Shlema for Yosef Chaim Shmuel Ben Alte Nechama from his grateful family. The second sponsor of the Masechta for the Atzlacha, Berukhniyos, Begashmiyos. Third sponsor, Larry Cohn, in memory of Yechiel Moshe Ben Chaim, who started learning Daf Yomi at age 70 and continued for 32 years until he was nifter. The Masechta sponsor, the unity of the Jewish people. Masechta sponsor, Glenn Esterson, with love and gratitude from Wilmington, North Carolina. Thank you for enriching my life with Torah. Parnassa Chodesh. Nishmat Zechariah ben Moshe, Nishmat Chaya bas Yosef. Parnassa Chodesh, Yosef ben Chaya, sorry for parnassa berevach. Parnassa Chodesh is zechus for our children, tremendous parnassa. Parnassa Chodesh, Leilui Nishmat, Yaffa bat Simcha, Refuah Shlema Yisrael, Yaakov ben Malka. Parnassa Chodesh is zechus parnassa berevach for Baruch Tzvi Nisim ben Shoshana Leah. Parnassa Chodesh, innovation DLC in honor of Uncle Cohn and officials, zechus for Simcha ben Feges, Shila for Rivka Yudis bat Yaffa Chaya, and thank you to Eli Stefansky. Parnassa Yomi, Danny Kaladi. Where is he? Is he here?
No.
Geshmak. Nishmat, my sister, Elisheva Yal Bas Leah Valevi, on her 15th yahrzeit, and her Nechama should have an aliyah. Danny Kaladi is a big part of this year. He donates pizza, donates this. He's a big. You guys don't chap. He lives here in Yala, yeah. Art of the month for zechus, for rebellion, the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many. And in honor of Yossi Klein and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work that they do. That's right. Shalom Aleichem. What is your name?
Yosef Dov Lefkowitz.
Yosef Dov Lefkowitz from?
Flatbush.
Flatbush. Shalom Aleichem. You ever go to that Flatbush gathering at 1 o'clock? Really?
Once in a while.
Very nice. Paris Chaim Levine, the pizza at Manastrovich. What is it? Something like that. Akiva Ziegler. Oh, Reb Josh Brody's in the house. Rabbi Sai. I heard you might be coming there to show for good. Is it true?
Rumor this summer, hopefully August.
Is it true? Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Is it something?
Started with Chagiga Yatas, and next thing you know, you're making Aliyah.
It's because of the shir? Wow, Chagiga Yutes. He remembers the daf. Wow. 1 minute. What daf was it that you interviewed me on the behind the bima? Really? Chagiga Yutes. You interviewed Chagiga Yutes. You joined the shir, and here you are making Aliyah. It was the worst interview ever. You interview a guy, you find yourself in a different country afterwards. And Shnai Mikra. Wow. True stuff? Does your child, what's son, Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? AJ. Also Brody? What a chiddush. Wow. AJ, it's true. Dad does it every day? Once in a while, okay. Givali. What else do we have here? Shalom Aleichem, you're a guest, no? You. What? You were here yesterday. Avada, of course. Oh wow, what's your name? Shia Lefkowitz, a son. Also from Flatbush? Shalom Aleichem. Shnei Isaac Levy, you're like your father, you go with the two names things. Very nice. So who slept two? You slept them?
Yes.
And you tried to get them to join the shir. We're going to have to behave today then. Have to impress them. Who else? Oh, Shalom Aleichem. What, are you allowed to talk with Tefillin? What's your name? Yeshua Cohn from?
Lakewood.
Wow, all right. You should know Shas like your Yeshua Cohn, the famous Shas Cohn. All right. We're holding by Omar Rav Yehuda, like 12 lines from the bottom. Here's a question, a controversial question. You're not going to like this question. Your wives are not going to like this question. When you come to Shemayim, and they ask you, so how come you didn't do the daf in the morning? Is it going to be a good excuse to say, well, my wife didn't really allow it. She asked me to do other things instead. Is that a good excuse? My wife. The wife excuse. Huh? Ma'aser Chaya, I went to Reb Chaim Kanievsky like many times, and every single time he asked me the same thing. So how come you don't have a beard? So one time I pulled the wife thing, and I have it on video. I said, my wife doesn't let. He said, no, you're in charge, not your wife. That's what he told me.
See how well that worked.
No, I was just trying to see what he would say in such an excuse. It didn't work.
He says your wife doesn't have to grow the beard.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's what he said, and I didn't understand that. So we're going to see today, does anybody have a raya from the Torah, one way or another?
You have to listen to your wife.
You have to listen to your wife.
Yaakov Avinu took his wives out to the field to ask them what to talk about.
No, much better. Huh?
Sorry, man. Listen to her.
Much better, much better.
That's much. Sorry, man.
It's even before that. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Pinchas? Clear. You wrote it in emails and stuff, no? Or that was a different clear coper? I definitely mentioned the name.
That's from the clear coper from Cleveland.
Shalom Aleichem, come on in.
What other Nechama?
Other Nechama, he's right, other Nechama. He tried to use the excuse. My wife told me to eat from the Eitzadas. Says the Gemara. Let's see. Omer Rav Yehuda Omer Shmuel. Omer Rav Yehuda Omer Shmuel. Says Shmuel. Halacha ki Rabbi Yosi. In the Mishnah we learned, we had yesterday a bunch of Rabbi Yosi about a brother-in-law is a brother-in-law, a relative, not a relative, is his relative a relative. But now the Gemara understands the Rabbi Yosi of the Mishnah. That what? That if a person is not related, you don't have a real relation, then you could testify about them. Says Shmuel, halacha ki Rabbi Yosi. So the Gemara brings a case to prove this. There was a matana, that two brother-in-laws who are not related, brother-in-laws are not related blood relation, and they were both signed in it. So Rav Yosef wanted to say, like Rabbi Yosi in the Mishnah, that if you have to be able to yarshin, you have to be a relative that could inherit another relative. Two brother-in-laws can inherit each other. We just paskin like Rabbi Yosi, you have to be able to inherit. Says Abayo, you didn't understand Shmuel maybe. There's two Rabbi Yosis. There's the one in the Mishnah that says you have to be able to inherit, and then there's the Rabbi Yosi that we discussed at the end of yesterday's shir, the whole back and forth. Remember, there's a chargai, there's a stepson, there's a brother-in-law. Which one is by himself? Which one is a levado? Only the chargai, but the chargai. Remember, the stepson's relatives could testify, or maybe it means a brother-in-law, his relatives, his son-in-law could testify. The Rabbi Yosi is the opinion that we said not only chargai, not only stepson, but even a brother-in-law. He's paisel. He says brother-in-law is pasul. Shmuel is the one that says the halacha is like Rabbi Yosi. Shmuel himself said, check this out. What's a brother-in-law? Brother-in-law is like me and my brother. Me and Shmuel, Pinchas, we both married sisters. So not only are we brother-in-laws, we're also brothers. Oh, so someone like us, a brother-in-law that's also a real brother, he has a problem to say eidos, to testify. It's mashma. It's only a severe situation like ours. Two brothers married two sisters. Such a situation you can't testify, but a regular brother could. A regular brother-in-law could. Says Gemara, no. He wanted to bring out a point because there's many types of brother-in-laws. There's a bunch of brother-in-laws. A brother-in-law could be my wife's brother. This is a far-out brother-in-law. This is my wife's sister's husband. So I'm not related to my wife's sister, and certainly not to her husband, which is two relations removed. That's also, says Shmuel, considered a brother-in-law. Like me and my brother, we're brother-in-laws, that kind of brother-in-law. Not that we're brothers. Forget the brother part. We're a type of a brother-in-law that's very, very distant. In terms of the brother-in-law, we're very distant. Because the only way we're brothers, it's not my wife's brother, it's my wife's sister's husband. My brother Pinchas, what? That's also postulatus in terms of gis. That's also a gis. Okay? Omalei, I like your pshat. And Mamela, this star matana, zilkanya bedim sira kiribelazar. So the famous Rebbeir Belazar, what makes a get? Is it the Edom that signed on the get, or it's the Edom that witnessed the get? So since we have a major problem here with the witnesses in the Shtar Matana, because they're related, they're brother-in-laws, so Mela, let's use something else. Let's use the witnesses that saw the actual Matana. Zilkani made them a Sir Rebbe Lazar. Says Gemara of Amar Rebbe Abba, Moed Rebbe Lazar, even Rebbe Lazar holds that the witnesses that see the whole Matana, that's enough, you don't need anything signed. But over here we have a problem. Over here you have two witnesses that are related to each other, or they're puzzled to be made on each other. So it ruins. If it was empty, you're right, it would be good. No chasima would be good because you have the Eidei Misira. But over here, in addition to the Eidei Misira, you have two Eidim that are puzzled. It's Mizuiv Metoichai. It's falsified from within it, and in Mela it's possible. Yeah.
Or Eidei Chasim Psum.
No. Yeah, we had sugis like that recently. Yeah.
Right, but you need Eidim on the shtat.
Yeah, it's similar, but okay. Yeah, that was Mamish, that sugya. Here, he reminded us nicely. Remember, we had a sugya, the Gemara brought a raya from Sukkah. Mamish, that was the sugya. That in Sukkah with Schach Posel is 4 Tvachim, but Ir is 3 Tvachim. So, Kitzer, that sugya. In that sugya we said, okay, Zokti Gemara, V'amar Reb Abba, Moider Reb Elazar Mezuzim Dov Shu Basel. Amalei Zil, I'm sorry, I can't help you out. Go. L'shavke Lido Yisvina Loch. I tried from this direction to help you out. I tried from here. Nothing's working. Sorry, you don't have a matana. Rabbi Yehuda is talking about a typical case where you have a father-in-law and a son-in-law. They're related. And Rabbi Yehuda says that even if the wife, who's the connecting factor over here, if she goes la'olam ha'emes, so now you're not really related to your father-in-law. But if you have children with that wife, so the children keep you connected. That's Rabbi Yehuda's shita. Amar B'tavcha, Amar B'tavla, Amar B'broino, Amar Rav, Halacha ki Rabbi Yehuda. Here. That's a father-in-law, and he has a son-in-law, and they had a kid together. So now, this is not Likuli Yavim. This is according to Rabbi Yehuda. Oh yeah, time out. Now they're very related. The son-in-law and the father-in-law are related. Now what happens is, look what happens. If the daughter dies, so according to Rabbi Yehuda, they remain related because there's a grandson over here. What are you asking?
Divorce.
Yeah, same thing. They're not. She's out of the picture. That this kid, the grandson, doesn't keep them related. A son-in-law, ex-son-in-law, we'll call him. How do you say it in a nice way? In Hebrew, you say l'shavar. A son-in-law l'shavar. A former son-in-law. I like former. In Panovich, they say emeritus, but in the regular, simple English, it's former. Ein halach Rabbi Yehuda. Ignas lo the Rabbi Chano aho. Ezu dorash Rabbi Yosef Aglili. Uvasa Elokianim Levim Velashoyva Shaya Bayom Heim, a beautiful kasha. What does it mean? You go to the Kohanim and to the judge that's in those days. But you're going to go to a judge that's already dead, or a judge that's going to live in a future generation. About it, you're going to go to the judge that's alive then. That a person has to be a relative at the time of the din. And if you're not a relative at the time of the din, you're already divorced, she already died, then you're not a relative. That if you were once a relative, but there's a distance between you and that person because the wife is no longer involved, then you're allowed to testify. A son-in-law could testify to his former father-in-law, according to Rabbi Yosef Glili, that's the halacha, he says.
Even if he has children. Yeah,
even with children. It says, Gemara b'nei chamod de marukva kroivim v'nisrach guhavi. A Maisa Shahaya. The brother-in-laws come to Marukva, and his wife was nifter. They weren't divorced, nifter. And they're no longer brother-in-laws right now. Also, the Kamei Ladina, they wanted him to pass in halacha. I can't. I'm puzzled. So they understood what we understand right now. The meaning is puzzle. We're still related somewhat. You're going to say that the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. These are Talmidei Chachamim. These people know how to learn. So you probably think that we're related because Rabbi Yehuda we made the cheshbon. No, what? We're still related. At the end of the day, we're still related. Anan, Maisinon, Igatim Arava, I will bring you a letter from Eretz Yisrael, and Allah we'll prove it to you that that's not Allah. We're not related anymore, so you can pass him. Am I glued to you with glue? In those days, glue was wax. A whole kav, like 24 eggs worth of glue. We don't have a permanent glue. We're not related. That's not why I said that I can't pass him. The only reason is because I know you. I'm your ex-brother-in-law, a former brother. I know you guys. You're good. You tell me the chachamim. Whatever I say, you're gonna have tightness this way, that way. Look, I even said that I can't pass him. On that, you already have a tightness. You're gonna prove me this way and that way from Eretz Yisrael. So go find the Rav that you respect, but not because we're related. I said the story, but there's another fear I never said. Yechiel Moshe was in a din Torah, and he passed against the guy, and the guy went crazy. He started screaming. He says, "I'm going to break all the windows here." So he said, "Oh yeah? I dare you to break all the windows. You know what I'm going to do to you?" And the guy ran away. So they asked Yechiel Moshe. He said, "What do you mean you're going to do?" He said, "No, I was going to. If he breaks the windows, I was going to call the glass guy and have him replace the windows. That's what I meant." So they say that after a while, Rabbi Yechiel Moshe went to the guy and says, "I'm moichel you." So they asked Rabbi Yechiel Moshe, "Why? Why did you go to him to say you're moichel?" He said, "Be moichel. Why do you have to go to him?" He said, "Because the way it works is the guy might have felt bad of what he did. He threatened to die and he wasn't behaving. But after a while, you start being more head to yourself. You start coming up with excuses. No, at the end, Lamaisa, could be I was right. Not only was I right, I probably should have done what I did. If I cared, the dayan should ask me, Mechila." So I went to him to tell him, "Listen, you were wrong, but I'm moichel you." Okay? So we learned that there's two people that you can't testify about. Somebody that you hate really bad, and somebody you don't talk to for 3 days, and somebody you love a lot. Bekama, what's a shishmina? So in the time of the Gemara, you had a shishmina, the best man, I don't know what they call it in English, the guy that used to, the shomer, today's the shomer, you know, the chassan's best friend, he takes him around. But over there, they used to hang out for the entire Shara brachas. Bekama, Omer Rababa, Omer Rabim, Omer Rav, Kol Shivas Yimei HaMishta. They're very tight and close for the entire Shara brachas. Rabbanim Shmei, the Rav Amri, Afilu Miyom Rishon Ve'elach. No. The day of the chasana. But from that day on, no shayches. I think it's very appropriate. A lot of people, you know, especially teenagers, they tell you there's nothing like our friends. We're tight with the friends. The parents, no, they're like not even second place. Friends. And then what happens is a lot of times you get married, and the next time you see those best friends is like in 30 years later. Once in a while you have one great friend you shmooze with, but all those friends that came in for the chassan and that's like Mishagoy, you have no idea where they are and who they are. The Gemara says over here, the first day, the first day you're very close. Even during the Shara brachas you forgot about them. It's finished. Kol Shivas Yimei HaMishta. Afilu Miyom Rishon Ve'elach, he says. Hasoynei kol sheloi diber. I want to say something very, very almost emotional. I'll call it together emotional. I just found out yesterday, as we're talking about, it's almost very soon we're doing the second chelik of Art Scroll. Give out Gemaras, this, that. Found out yesterday that my good dear friend donated, I'm not going to say whose name, you're going to have to guess, donated $2,500 worth of Gemaras. He's sitting right over here, Reb Nachman Seltzer. $2,500 worth of Gemaras. And it came out from the Shabbatot. He met Moshe Horn, who was a big part of this year. Moshe Horn is sponsoring his book. What is it about?
About the whole year of
the whole year of the war. And Reb Nachman said, okay, because of that, they met through MDY, whatever, the Shidduch. So Yishkoyach, Be'ezer Hashem, will get a lot of people to join this year and to learn Torah. Hasoyne kol sheloi diber. I want to do something. We're working on something to be not just joining this year, but stay with this year through smaller groups. We're trying to work something out. Be'ezer Hashem, soon. These people that are joining. Hasoyne kol sheloi diber. Tonu Rabbanon v'hu lo oyev lo yidenu. So the pasuk says like this: If you kill somebody, you have to be a shoygig. You don't kill somebody by accident and you hate the guy. That's not going to work. You really don't. You're not an enemy. You don't want to see anything wrong happen to him. That's a guy that's shoygig. Something like that. You go to Gullus, you go to Arimiklat. If you don't hate him, you can testify for him. So there's two parts of the pasuk. Lo yoyev. I should really have put v'lo mevakish rasai on a different line and made it also red. I don't know. Maybe Gary, you want to do that? You want to try to do it? V'lo yoyev loy v'lo mevakish rasai. When I asked Dave, he's like excited to do it. In seconds he does. Let's see how fast he can do it. V'lo mevakish rasai goes on another line. Press enter and red. No, right before Veloy, you push enter, you push the loy down to the Mevakish Rasai. Veloy Mevakish Rasai. And then you make it red. Bonere. Okay, whatever. But should I have they go up there and show you how to do it? What do you say?
It doesn't even affect me.
It doesn't even affect him. That's how bad it is. Okay. But whatever, it'll happen soon. It's under pressure.
Ask him who set the computer last night.
Yeah. Excuses. This is just word. This is a simple word. Oh. You know what? I don't know. Go at it. As long as it's not me stucking the other guys out.
Weiter.
Oh, weiter. Can you please press the weiter button? Push the weiter button right now. Come on. You have one?
They would have pushed it a long time.
Okay. Rebbeinu Shalom, seriously, Rebbeinu Shalom, I asked you to make the shir geschmack today, but not that geschmack. Okay. Weiter. Mandy. Okay.
It's a kiss from Hashem.
Yeah, mamish. Oh, so it says two things. Lo yoyev, v'lo mevakish rasei. What do we do to two things? One says, first of all, if you are not an enemy, or you are a then you could testify for him. Then you could judge him. Where do we see somebody that you love? It says Gemara, check this out. You take the word oyev, an enemy, and you turn into oyev, somebody you love.
Then he goes to go.
No, these are two people that you cannot testify. An enemy and somebody that you love. Two people that they cannot testify. Ask the Gemara, it's a very nice, it looks great, but where does it say the word oyev? It doesn't say oyev. It says why can't an enemy testify? Because he hates him. So Mela, what did I say? Can. No, I said cannot. You're hearing. You're trying so hard. Baruch Hashem. It's the New York accent. Sorry. The Oyev cannot testify. Why? Because the Merachik Daite, he doesn't like him. So Oyev Nami, for the same reason, Mikarva Daite. Shkoyach. It's almost there, but the whole line has to be read at the bottom. But we're getting there. V'lo Yoyev. V'lo Mevakish Rasa. Givaldi. Rabbanon, Leilui Oyev Loi, V'lo Mevakish Rasa. Here we have the two limudim. Here you see what beautiful what Gary did. It's unbelievable. V'lo Mevakish Rasa. My Darj Pei. What do Rabbanon do with this? Says the Gemara, Chad L'dayon. Even Dave is clapping. He's working on his midas. Yeah, says the Gemara, Rabbanon say that somebody that is a hater and a lover, they are kosher leidos, so what do they do with it? Chad l'dayon. You cannot be a judge If you hate him, why? Because then, forget about Eidos. We're not talking about Eidos now, we're talking about a dayan. Why? Because there's an Indian for a dayan to look into and find a good thing about the guy, to get him out of the brach that he's in. If you hate him, you're not going to be mahabach b'schusay. What about the second limud that Gary did so beautifully? Let's go back there and look at it again. So what do you do with that? Two Talmidei Chachamim. You have two Talmidei Chachamim that hate each other and they're sitting on the same bezdin. And they're not allowed to sit on the same bezdin. I have a shayla for you. It's bothering me. Now I'll ask the Talmidei Chachamim from Flatbush, the new guys. If they hate each other, so what do you need a pasuk for? They hate each other. They're being over in Issa D'Oraisa. How can you be over? In a matzav of being over Issa D'Oraisa, they're going to sit and judge.
No, they told each other.
They what?
They told each other.
What do you mean they told each other?
They hate each other.
Oh, it's not b'vavecha.
They were very clear.
They told each other? It's not b'vavecha.
Yeah. But the Sfatim. That's the Sfatim.
I thought different. I don't know. It could be you're right. They think that what they're doing is l'shem shamayim. The guy's a Russia. He wasn't mechaven by Amen or something. That in his head it's a heter. You're saying it's not a heter. He thinks it's a mitzvah what he's doing. So okay, says the Mishnah. Yishmak stuff easier. I know some of you had trauma from yesterday. Like Ari had trauma from yesterday. It was a Geshmak sugya. This is much easier stuff. Says the Gemara, he came an hour before Shachris to chazar over yesterday's sukkah. That's how much trauma he had. How do you interrogate the Eidim? The Eidim come, you have to see if they're saying the truth. They'll bring them into a room and they would threaten them. The Gemara is going to explain what does it mean to threaten them. They take all the other Eidim out. The Balidin have to remain there though. You have to be Mekabel Eidim in front of the Balidin. And you leave the better of the greater of the two Eidim, the Choshev, how do you know that so and so owes $1 million? If he himself admitted to me, it's very possible he's not saying the truth. Why? We already had the svara. A lot of times people pretend that they owe money. Why? Because they don't want people to know that they have money. So they tell everybody, oh no, I'm a big bal chayv. I owe a lot of money. So you can't trust that. If they saw the actual loan, there's no shayla, that's not what we're talking about. But in addition to the actual loan, I heard something, I saw something, what do you see? What about ish ploini omar li shu chayev loy? I heard testimony from another aide. No good. You have to see, you have to hear it, you have to see it by yourself. Loy omar klum, that's nothing. Listen to this. These two words are very important. Befanenu hoida, who admitted? The borrower, hoida, loy. Who's loy? The malva. In other words, the lender. The borrower and the lender were both there, not one of them. Both of them were both in front of me, and he admitted to the malva that he owes him money. And also, as we're going to see, and he had to say, "You are my edim, atem edai." You can't just happen to be sitting there and overhearing it. You have to ask them to be edim. And then you have to bring in the second one. And if we find out that their words match, then you could go back and forth and see if it's true. But they have to match. Shrekel Chamaisa in Vilna, where the Edom came and said a certain woman was Mizana. True story. So they brought them to the Vilna Gaon, and the Vilna Gaon asked the aide back and forth and interrogated the first one, the second one, back to the first one. And then he comes out and he says, they're lying. So they beat up the Edom, and the Edom admitted that they were lying. So that's the Vilna Gaon. How do you know? He says, because it says in the Mishnah, Imnintzu divrei mechuvanim. Mechuvanim is pshat that this one says this and this one says that, but it matches. When they said the same exact words over and over, word for word, that means they went into a room and they practiced this. that means they're lying.
What means they don't contradict each other?
They don't contradict. We're able to see that it lines up. But if the mamish, it's word for word. I was here and I saw this and they were wearing this. Mamish word for word. It's the charaya that they are lying. 2 against 1 in any situation. What's the pasuk? The famous pasuk. Achirabim lahatos. We always go by the roiv. So 2 people say that he's zakai. He doesn't have to pay. And one says, the one out of the 3 dayanim says chayav. The halacha is you go with the 2 zakai. Shlomo chayav. 2 say he's chayav. Echad oim zakai. Chayav. You go with the 2. Echad oim chayav. Echad oim zakai. 1 against 1. And now the third one doesn't know. Afilu shnayim zakim. Even if the 2 are lined up, or shnayim chayavim. Either way, they line up. And the third one says, I don't know. How many do you add? You remember? 2. You have to add 2. Now, Rashi says a very interesting thing here. Rashi says that if one says, I don't know, so we don't have a bezdin anymore. We're not in a bezdin situation. Now we're at 2. Now, to add 1 is no good, because when you add 1, and you come back to 4, 4 is a even number. Because even though the guy says, I don't know, he could still deliberate with them. What?
He says add 1.
No. You have to add 2.
He says
Yeah, but there was a sugi, I don't know what it says over there. We learned you have to add 2. Rashi, this. Gomrus hadavar. They finished up. They take the balidin, they bring them in. Now who's the one that breaks the news? The greatest of the dayanim. Ish ploini atazakai. You should know you're found not guilty. Ish ploini atachayev. You're guilty. How do you know that the dayan is not allowed to whisper to the balidin and say, listen, I feel bad. I really wanted to paskin like you. I did paskin like you. What should I do? They outvoted me. Either the pasuk of Rechilos, there's an isser to say over a secret. So you over isser the right by doing that. Now says the Gemara, how does it look? How do you threaten Adam? This is what you say. Nesim v'ruach. We have everything. We have the wind. We have the clouds. We have everything. V'geshmיות, but there's no rain. Why? Ish mishalel. There's somebody taking pride. B'matas shoker. He's taking pride with the gift of lying. In other words, the lying causes that there's famine in the world. By you sitting here and lying about your eidos, you're bringing famine to the world. Omarava, Yachle lemeimar, people are not scared of that. It's not a big threat. Shav shnei, you have a kafno. There, 7 years, and people say, 7 years there's famine. In my business, there was no famine. I didn't see anything. I was doing very well. It didn't affect me at all. You're not going to scare this guy off. He thinks he has plenty of money. He doesn't need you. He's not scared of famine. El Omarava, what do? Amrin lahu. So it's interesting. If you look by Rav Yehuda, there's a test over there. There's a tziyun to the Shulchan Aruch. This is one of the things we threaten. By Rava, there's a yud. In other words, the Rishonim explain that we threaten them with all these threats. It's not an argument. We start with one and we go to the next one. Elomar Rava Amrilu, Mayfitz. There's a stick, the cherev, and there's a sword, the chetz, and an arrow. Shonon ish oina bereu eit shoker. You'll die. Threaten him with death. It won't work. Why? Shav shnei have a misana. There was a plague for 7 years. All of a sudden they become bali emuna. They say, oh, nobody dies before the time. Because Baruch Hu decides when every single person should die. And memela, I'm not going to die. The guy says, I'm not going to die early. I have a time. Whenever I'm supposed to die, I die.
Tell them that it's going to come to the world, not to them specifically. You're going to bring to the world.
Okay, and what are they answering?
They say we don't care. We don't care. But
why they don't care? Because everybody dies in the right time. I think it's a peleploim. If you think about it for a second, it's kind of interesting. They come to Bezdin sometimes to say a testimony that so and so killed someone. Why are they coming to testify that someone? Because they want him to die earlier than he's supposed to die. Because if the guy is supposed to die anyways tomorrow, so why should they do it? 1 minute, let me finish my thought here. They're coming, they're not wasting their time, they want a certain individual to get something that he doesn't typically deserve. It wasn't destined for him, he shouldn't have died tomorrow, but we're testifying that he killed somebody falsely, so they should kill him tomorrow. In other words, they believe that people could die early. They believe that you can take money away from you. Just on they themselves, They don't believe that it could happen to them because most people don't think that they belong to the category of people that are supposed to die. Everybody thinks they're going to live forever. It doesn't apply to me. Now let's go weiter. It's even more interesting now. This I thought is unreal. Elom and Rashi. How do you threaten them? When you hire false witnesses, the ones that hire them think of them in a low way. Oh, that's big stuff. So listen, I couldn't believe this when I'm reading this. My mom couldn't believe it. You threaten them that there's going to be famine in the world, garnished. You threaten them you're going to die, garnished. But your friend in shul, he's going to laugh in his heart. He's going to say that you're a shaita for taking on this job of saying, that's noir v'ayim. That is mamish noir v'ayim. That works. So, I mean, a person, he doesn't act based on what he thinks he should be doing, and not based on what his friend thinks he should be doing. He only acts on not on what his friend thinks, but what his friend thinks about what he should be doing, what he thinks his friend thinks about him. He doesn't care about what his friend thinks, he doesn't care about what he thinks. He cares about what his friend thinks about him. It's a pel de gezach, no? Unbelievable. I'm saying we live our life based on what is Pliny going to think about me? Right. Yeah. You find it like in high school, but with teenagers. Your friends try to convince you to do something really dumb. Put a needle in the teacher's seat, peer pressure, but they themselves, they laugh at you. They don't think you're chashav, they think you're an idiot for doing it. They put the pressure on it. What are your friends going to think? Okay. So the Gemara. The famous story with Achav, he wanted the Yechiel was the one that gave him the idea, but he wanted the vineyard of the Navais, and Yechiel said, bring fake witnesses and say that he cursed Hashem, and Memelo, we're going to have to kill him, and then you can grab his vineyard. But what does it say in the pasuk? It says, she said, take two losers. She called the Eidi Sheker bad people, B'nai Belial. Oh, that I don't want. I don't want people to say that about me. B'nai Belial negdoi v'idu leimar b'irachta likim v'melech, he cursed Hashem and the king. Imam Arloi, Imam Arhu, Omar Li, if he said to me, the Leilui said, I owe somebody money, it's no good. You have to see them witness in front of each other. The Leilui admits in front of the Malva that he's chayiv. So the Gemara say, this is a right to Rav. If the Leilui doesn't say you are my Eidim, then he could turn around and say, Mishatani b'cha. I was joking with you. I never meant this seriously. A lot of times people say, you could have this a lot of times, no? You owe me $1 million. Yeah, I owe you $1 million. It's garnished. Yeah. Shogana, $1 million. Yeah, I don't have $1 million. I never had $1 million. Yeah, I owe you $1 million. That's Mishatani b'cha. It's Menami Omer B'chia Barab Omer B'yochanan. You can read this, not read it, but it's the same. We're going to say the same words again. That what? Again. You owe me 100. You're right, I owe you 100. Okay, you promised me yesterday you owe me 100, so give it to me. I was making a fool out of you. I was mamish joking around. Do me a favor, Gary, turn off the volume, please. Because I don't like the volume on this so much. Oh, maybe not. Maybe on this you could put the volume.
Great! I'll come by for it tomorrow.
Sure, you can come by tomorrow. No problem.
The kids, he's being a let. What if he hid two Eidim to listen to the conversation? And he says, you owe me 100. Yes, I owe you 100. And all the Eidim are behind the wall, behind the fence, they hear everything. Now, but you have to say Atamedai. So he says, could you please admit this in front of so-and-so? No, if I admit, then you'll force me to din Torah. But you admitted yesterday you owe me money, so give it to me. Potter. In that case, you're potter. And then it says a riddle. And if a guy is trying to pull somebody to Avodah Zarah, you don't help him out. Says the Gemara, Mesis Mandikar Shmei, who's talking about Avodah Zarah? What is going on here? How did these three words fit into the end of the sentence? This is what it really means to say. Very interesting halacha. If the guy doesn't claim I was clowning around, I was mishata b'cha, then we don't say it for him. However, by capital punishment, we want to put a guy to death. Whatever we could claim for the guy, we'll claim. So if he doesn't say mishata b'cha, we say mishata b'cha, whatever. If it's possible in a death penalty, we'll see. However, and this is we pass on halacha ve'in toyanim lemesis. This is all good in a regular capital punishment case when we try to put somebody to death for being mechal Shabbos, whatever it is, even if he killed somebody. But if he try to bring somebody off the derech to Avodah Zarah, then we don't help him out at all. We don't give him any kind of help, any lawyer advice, whatever. Ma'ishna mesis, why? It says in the pasuk, don't have any compassion, don't cover for him. How do we know another pshat? How do you know you don't say any time to somebody that's trying to get you off the path? From the first, nay, that what? He tried to take Chava away from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He was trying to push her away from Yiddishkeit. He could have said a lot of things to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Just a question. Everybody, don't even answer. Raise your hand. What did the Nachash try to have Chava eat? What did he want her to eat? If you think it's a wheat, raise your hand. Oh, very nice. 6 people. If you think it's a fig, raise your hand. Shh. I said raise your hand. I didn't say answer. What are you? You remind me of my 6-year-old kid. I don't have one, but whatever.
That's right.
If you think it's an apple, raise your hand.
That's right.
Nobody in the room thinks it's an apple. Half the Israeli shir raised their hand. Half the Israeli shir. Well, not really. Half. A lot of.
That's right.
Apple is what the Christians believe.
That's right.
Okay.
No.
I don't know what it is. That's a machlokes. He ruined it. He ruined it for everybody. And by the way, Arya, you're not allowed to say machlokes ever. That's Hillel. No. You have to ask him Mechila now. How come HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't say it for him? The fish who? He didn't do it. What could have he said? He had a lot of tinus. What could have he said? So the Gemara picks one. Divrei Arav, Divrei Talmud, Divrei Mishoimim. If a Rebbe tells you to do something and a student tells you to do something, who do you listen to? Divrei Arav Shoimim. Ask Tosfos a Mordek Kasha. If that's the case, we do all Tosfos, by the way, especially if there's only one small one like this. Every masis in the world, everybody that pulls somebody off Avodah Zarah, he could claim, Hashem said not to. What are you listening to me? The answer is, but once Hashem gives you the warning not to be a masis, so that's not an excuse anymore. The Nachash, Hashem didn't say it yet, so he has that excuse. So says the Gemara. And from here, if Shteiman says, you see that to say that my wife didn't let me come, and my wife asked me to stay home to watch the kids, my wife this and my wife that, is not an excuse klapi Shmaya. He brings from this Gemara. Says the Gemara, how do you know when you add something, you are actually detracting, you're taking off? Chava said that Hashem said, don't eat from it and don't touch it. Hashem never said don't touch it. So when the snake pushed her onto the tree and she touched the tree and she didn't die, so that's where she went bad. She said, I am not die. I didn't die. Okay, so you can eat. Yeah. No. I think Chava said. So it says, this is the, check this out. Yeah, the what?
That Adam told her to do it. Adam told her that together. She did not know. She thought it was together.
But
Adam,
who said don't touch?
Adam told her also not. Yeah, it's my question. First Chaya says that Adam said to tell her.
Okay.
He made a mistake. He told her.
Check this out. This is the Aron. The word Mosayim depends if you're Yerushalmi or regular Israeli. The way you say it, Mosayim is 200. If you add to it, Amosayim becomes 2. It goes from 200 to 2. So when you add, you're actually taking away. The word Shtei Esrei is 12. if once you add an ayin, then it becomes 11.
It's a different word though,
Correct. When you add, it becomes a different word.
No, it's a different word in the root.
Very good. That's what happens when you add something to something, it becomes a different root. This is only when a person says, I was messing with you. This Adam that heard you say that you admitted yesterday, you admitted you owe money, and then you say, then you're not believed. Why? Because there's Adam against you. You can't say something against the Adam. Where's the sponsors? Over here. Turning to the Daf, Berkovici family in honor of MDY Daf champions, Leo Shamshi Schlaffer, Uncle Freddie, and Mr. Gross, and Refuah Shlema for our fearless leader and chief, Chaim Gavril Ben Sivyolana, by the members of the Muncie Fire Department, and by Yaakov Citron Films Strategic Video Production. Omer Apapa Bereder Ravacha Barado, Hochi Amir Mishmei the Rava, this is what they say in the name of Rava. Chalmili Dichdi, anything that's nonsense, Loi Dechiri Inchi, people don't remember that. So Mamela, when he said yesterday, yes, I owe you money, so that was nonsense. So he didn't remember that he said it. So he's not Hosel Kafron. He's not proved to be a liar because he didn't remember that he said yes. Somebody hid a bunch of Edim in what is it called? Those beds that they have in South Africa from mosquito nets. Here, something like this. So he hid Edim, whatever. They pretended he was sleeping in the bed. You owe me 100. Yes, I owe you 100. Omar. People that are up and sleeping, should be Eidim. What do you think, I'm a fool? I that these guys are not really sleeping, they're listening to the conversation. No way. Of course it doesn't work. The guy said specifically, I don't want them to be my Eidim. There's a person who hid Eidim in the cemetery. Here we even have a little bit of a 3D animation to show you how it worked.
Do you remember that you owe me $100?
Yeah.
So you'll probably have no problem with the dead and the living being witnesses.
You think I'm a fool? You must have hidden some witnesses here. I just wonder where they could be.
I can't take it anymore. I can't breathe in there. The second witness seems to be doing just fine. I want to thank the Muncie Fire Department for the oxygen mask and color covered to the 19 firefighters who are doing the Daf with us. A gracious Chaya. Keep up the good work.
Muncie Fire Department, 20 guys, 19 guys. Bezer Hashem, all 60? How many do they have there? All 60, Bezer Hashem. Gary, you said awesome. Stempel. Oh, Ashi approved. There we go. You owe me 100. He's in the basic Kfaris. Yeah, I owe you 100. The living and the dead should be Edim. I'm not a fool. I'm not falling for it. He said, no, they're not Edim, so they're not Edim. If they're hiding behind the Matzevis over there, they're not Edim. So you see from this, when a guy says, Rav says that you have to say specifically, the loiva has to say, you are my witnesses. But there's a way out of this. There's two ways to do it. Either the loiva says specifically, you two are my witnesses, or the malva says, you two are the witnesses, and the loiva doesn't say anything. He agrees to it. It's only because the loiva says, no, I don't agree. But if he's quiet, that's enough. If the malva says, these are my edim. I would have a korule kavroshu. There's a guy that had a name that he has a lot of debt. Here, a guy like this. He has a lot of debt. He has a lot of shtori chayvas. Omar ma masik bi elaploni uploni. And he says specifically that Reuven and Shimon are the only people he owes money to. He admits, I owe money to Reuven and Shimon. So they went to Rav Nachman. A person makes up stories that he's a multimillionaire, but he doesn't want to show people that he has money. Doesn't want to show people he has money. There's a concept called the Terach minyan. I davened in a minyan like that for a little while in Chicago. They have a minyan where it's so early in the morning, it's dark, that they do Kriyas Torah before Shachris. Somebody came over to me after Shir, he says, there's a train that goes out every morning, I forgot what time, something 48, he told me, I don't remember, 5:48, 6. He says they daven, they say Hallel and Kriyas Torah, everything before, it's not Netz yet. So there's a guy that davened such a minyan, and then he won the lottery, and he wanted to know if he could continue davening that minyan so that the people in the minyan shouldn't chap that he won the lottery. He's nervous. People see you daven here for 10 years, also now you stop. So he asked Rabbi. Right. And he said, no, you have to stop davening there. This is just, it's a ein har and this and that, but it's a halacha is halacha. You should, okay, fine. Says the Gemara, I would have a korelay achber the shochav adinore. Yeah, a mouse that, this for sure, take off the sound. Gary, take off the sound, please. Yeah. You know, it's not comfortable to rest on a bunch of coins. It's not, he doesn't do anything. He's a stingy guy that all he does is he collects money and he sleeps on it. He does nothing with it. So, koshachiv, omer plani maskibi zuzi. He's a real estate. He admitted right before he died that he owes money to somebody. So those people heard, oh, he admitted he owes us money. We don't remember such a thing, but Lamaisi admitted $1 million is $1 million. So they take the Yarshim to the entire. Also, Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yosef, they went to Bezdin. When do we say a person pretends that he doesn't have any money and he says he owes a lot of people money when he's alive? This guy's dead. He said while he's dying, no, there's no such thing. So paru palga. So they said, you know what? Let's pay. We don't have a lot of money now. We'll pay half. So they said, listen, if we could get the whole thing, why not? So they go to the entire again, pay us up. We don't remember $1 million loan. It's just, we forgot about it. But your father admitted. So you owe us $1 million. $500,000 is not enough. So they went to Refuah. Just like a person, and this we learned already, the same svara. A person doesn't want people to know that he's wealthy. The worst thing that a Yosef could have is that all of a sudden, during Shiva, all the Rosh Yeshivas come to be Menachem Avel, and they're all nice to him because they need money for the yeshiva. No, it's all owed. All the money, they don't have anything. Yeah, we have more tact. So what? So we don't owe money? So we don't deserve any more? So that means that the first $500,000 we took, we also have to give back. You're right, but Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yosef already paskin. So you paskin. We have to stop here. All right, Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.